What's going on, everyone? This is Grandpal on this screen, Michelle Zangulis on the other there. This is the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. We're nearing episode 20. I can't recall what it is, 17, 18, something like that. But here we are Sunday afternoon talking about running life and then some. Before we get started, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. The Tough Runs Don't Last podcast is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice, screenshot your results as proof of completion, submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the Submit Results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section t-shirt for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at TR Don't Last, even though we haven't posted anything on Instagram and TikTok for a while. Way to go, Michelle. And yeah, so let's get started. Okay. How's your back feeling, Michelle? That bike at least doesn't have any like laundry on it or anything.
Oh,
But when's the last time you actually used it?
probably been a month now.
Starting hot on this show, putting you on the spot.
Uh,
Fitness slash life podcast, and here we are not being very good at fitness. Although I did run yesterday. How is your back feeling? Did I already ask that?
You did, but you didn't let me answer. Um, it's fine. Um, Yesterday was a long day and I did play some volleyball and I did like dive a few times and so we are sore again. Probably should not have done that, but
I dove a
yeah.
few times.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't know that you took volleyball that seriously.
Look, our team was not great, but if there was a commitment award, we went all in. People were diving constantly on our team. The other teams, not so much. They were like, it's not that important, but we went for it every time.
Yeah, that makes your the outcomes of your games even more disappointing now that I think about it, because you even put in more effort and were still you lost every game, right?
It was double elimination and we lost. Okay, but also there were only 3 teams. So we lost to both other teams. It's fine.
So to answer the question, yes, you lost every game.
Every game.
Okay. And what was the score of the one where y'all had your lowest point total? And this is impressive. I'm not trying to embarrass you, but I'm genuinely impressed that it was this low, because that's hard to do in volleyball. So go ahead.
So we played to 15, and in our second game, I would like to point out I was not playing. Not that it would have changed the score at all, but I was sitting that one out. Our score was 1-15.
Yes, I mean at least you got the one, but how did you get the one, by the way?
It was an ace, so served and they missed.
Wow, okay. Well, I mean if you're going to get 1 point, at least you did it that way rather than the opposing team serving it out of bounds.
Yeah, no. That team was very good. The other team, the first time they played them, they did pretty well. It got to like 12-15, I think. The second one, though, they only scored like 4 or 5 points against them. So the other team was getting better as they continued playing. We got worse.
I tend to do that in certain sports where I get worse the more I play like that day. Disc golf is one of them. I'll have a really good like first round, and then if we play 18 more or whatever, I'd always do worse. And bowling seems to be the same way. I'll
I
be pretty good the first game, but
get better at bowling.
yeah, I get worse, it seems like. The second game, my score total is always lower. So yeah, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just not as focused. I get a little bored. I don't know. I don't think it's boredom. I think it's just, I don't know. I'm not as into it or focused, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. My dog is having a full scream fit right now and is panting heavily. I think he's finally settling down. He's 14 years old, for those of you uh, wondering that. And by scream fit, I mean he has a very bad, like, coughing episodes. But I think he's calming down now. So, okay. All right. Well, getting back to the running portion of the show, I got two of them in this week. I did my usual run Wednesday, had a really good run, my first run in like 10, 11 days, something like that. So it was much needed. Got that in. Started to run Thursday, had a lot going on and just wasn't feeling it. I literally made it about 200 yards and was like, I have an option of finishing this thing out and then coming back and showering and cooking and all that and getting to bed late, or I can, and it was already late, it was dark outside, it was 8:30 or something, and I just said, you know what, I'd rather just go home and drink a couple of beers and just relax and take a just a mental break from everything. So I did that. I stopped, I turned around, I walked home, changed clothes. I think I called you and just cracked a couple open and just relieved relieved myself that way. I don't know if that's the right term. It sounds like I'm going to the bathroom, but
Yeah, it does.
I didn't do that. Actually didn't do that at all that day. Number two, that is. Plenty of number one. I wanted to sprinkle that in because I know how much you enjoy talking about that on this show. But I just wasn't feeling it Thursday. But actually, I felt a lot better Friday. Got back to things Friday. Had a pretty good run Friday night. Considered running today. Did lots of yard work yesterday, and I've had a tough couple of days. And my mom was saying, like, you just need to take a day and just don't do anything. And she's a very supportive mom, very very great mom. Um, but I was like, no, I like to do yard work. Like, I need to be doing something to kind of keep my mind occupied or just work some things out. And yeah, so I mowed the yard, I weed eated, sprayed Roundup, and cleaned up my fence too. Got my hedge clippers, and just went to work. I had lots of fun doing that. I was basically out working until dark, and yeah, I got a lot done. My yard looks pretty now. So considered running today. I don't think I'm going to, but I did consider it at least. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Just today might be the day where I just relax this evening. I don't know. We'll see. Or I might do something else. I don't know. I'm not the type that can really just sit and do nothing, in case you've, not been able to figure that out about me. It's kind of hard for me to just sit and just do nothing. May rent long legs, maybe. That crossed my mind too. Like turning out the lights and renting long legs. I'd have to spend like $20 though. I don't know if I want to do that.
That's the thing. I know that you've really wanted to see this movie for a while,
Yes.
but I just renting for $20. That's just ridiculous. So I
And
would
here's
wait.
and here's the business move on their end. I respect the move on their part. You can buy the thing for $24.99, or you can rent it for $19.99.
Yep.
It's smart on their part. It's like, well, I could just pay $5 more, but I may not like the movie and never watch it again.
Yeah.
I kind of had that option with what's the movie at Late Night with the Devil I saw a week or so ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rented that, and it was kind of similar. You could pay a little bit more to buy it or just rent it, and I was like, nah, I just want to rent it. Hated the movie, like didn't like it at all. Heard lots of good things about it. Hated it. It was slow. It wasn't scary at all. It just wasn't good. Just didn't like it. So glad I didn't purchase that. Don't want to do this with long legs, although I've heard a lot of really good things about it, but that kind of scares me too. And this is from people that Okay, you know some of the books I read,
Yes.
right? And how messed up they are as far as
Yeah.
like extreme horror and things like that.
Yes.
Well, I follow a lot of these authors of these books on social media, and one in particular who is known as the Queen of Extreme. Okay, so just take that for what it is. She raved about how creepy Longlegs was, so that got me excited. I was like, okay, if she's creeped out by this, it's got to be good. So I really want to see it. I don't know. We'll see. If I have time today, I'll consider it. Okay. While we're on the subject of TV, I said this before to you before we clicked record. I may have gotten myself like in trouble as far as ways that are going to occupy my free time from now on. So I have YouTube TV, and there's a lot. I only watch maybe 10% of the channels on there or have interest in it. There's a lot of channels on there, and a lot of them I will never even check out. But I was scrolling toward the bottom, and then I found something. It said Gordon Ramsay's Ultimate Cooking Guide. That's like the show, something like that. And the channel is called Taste Made, I think, and it's just a bunch of cooking stuff. And today is just nothing but like that. And this show I YouTube all the time when I'm just trying to like kill time for 20-30 minutes that can turn into an hour. So if this show shows things like that, I'm in trouble. I'm just going to be watching cooking tips when there isn't sports and stuff on like that. So I'm probably going to be checking this out quite a bit. I'm really excited about it. It's on as I speak. I can see stuff getting chopped out of the corner of the TV that I can see from the spare bedroom. So I'm a little bit in trouble there, but I'm also very excited about it.
That is a very like you thing to watch. It's very adult too, just in general, to be like excited about cooking tips.
Well, I'm almost 40. I have lots of interest. One of them is cooking. And yeah, so I mean, my weekend is consisted of yard work and cooking, and I'm very happy about that. So it's a very 40-year-old thing to be doing. So I'm basically gearing up for my 40s. That's how I look at it.
I mean, whatever you need to do to make 40 easier.
Are those pink dumbbells you have next to
Yes.
your so is that your little fitness center there?
It's not like no, they're just there. But everything else is in this closet back here. But
You
I was
actually pointed right at the closet. Like I knew exactly where you were talking about. It's pretty good.
um it was I was just doing a particular workout and they said to do lighter weights and so those are 2 pound, but I have 2, 3, and 5 pound. Um, they're pink, blue, and yellow.
I'm only smiling because what's the exercise where you're like, you know what, this is two's a little light. I need to go to 3 pounds. This three's a little heavy. I need to go to 2 pounds.
When you've been doing the bike hardcore and then out of nowhere you have to start doing whatever this exercise is, and sometimes two
Flying,
what?
flying, or I mean, what?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Um, or sometimes you'll just be like holding it above your head and it's like you're like, okay, two's a little light. Let me go up to three. So it's not a lot, but the one that I was doing in particular said to go light. And that was hard for me for that.
Just while you're on the bike.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense. Doing double things, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um, these are called just like raises, by the way. I don't have as much
I don't know.
use. Yeah, they're just shoulder raises basically. Um,
Yeah.
good for all this stuff here for those of you watching on Spotify and YouTube. Okay, well, what races do we have coming up? For me, I got one Saturday, next Saturday. So 6 days away. It's the ARK 5K Classic, which Michelle is rocking a knockoff shirt for that just by chance.
ARK.
I'm gonna say we can't see. There's too much stuff in the way there. But yes, and according to you, total coincidence that you're wearing it?
Yes. Just comfortable weekend shirt.
I guess so, just because you didn't get chosen to or selected for that race.
Nope.
Did you make the wheel?
The universe said, nah, you're good. You don't need to race.
Well, I'll be doing it. I don't know how well I'm going to do. I'm going to go give my all. I can't say my training has been top notch, but I've technically done what it's kind of been consistent. I got 2 runs in this week, plus a lot of yard work yesterday, which you sweat your butt off doing that. I sweat more doing that than I do my actual training run. Well, they're pretty even because it hasn't been too warm here, but it's been warm enough. Why are you making that face?
It was a very nice week. It was a very cool week. We were in the 80s, waking up in the 60s, which is not how August is. But this since Friday, we've been back in the high 90s. So it has not been fun this weekend in particular. But that's normal for Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, but as far as August weather goes, I mean, this is about as good as you're going to get for Arkansas, I would think.
Probably.
But we're not far from um, cooler weather. I mean, we're near September, and then when October hits, even better.
Yeah.
So excited about that. College football officially started yesterday. I did get to see a very exciting Florida State Georgia Tech game, and then I just didn't check out the other games just because I did yard work after that. But yeah, nothing but lots of college football next week, and basically nothing but college football next week, starting Thursday, I believe. And Arkansas plays Thursday, so I'm excited about that. They should actually win that one. It's against UAPB in Little Rock. That would be quite the upset.
We'll see what happens.
You never know with Arkansas. You and I'm rocking the Travelers hat. We are going to the Travelers game next Friday, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get cooler weather for that, but you know how that goes.
Yeah. I mean, we've been in we've gone to games in the mid to high 90s, and we've gone to games when it's a little bit cooler. And I got to wear long sleeves one time, but most of the time it is hot. That's baseball.
Yeah, usually the only time it's cool is when they first open, like in April.
Yeah.
Like I went a couple of years ago on opening day, and it was 70 degrees, and it was perfect. It was as perfect of baseball weather as you could ask for, just outdoor weather in general. Uh, Getting back to the running part, I like to run on Thursdays. These last couple of Thursdays have been very tough to run. I've been working late, and by the time I get home, I'm beat. I'm like I don't really I'm run. I'd have to be running in the dark. And I've explained this to you. It's like basically when I go run, it basically delays me 2 hours to bedtime. And that's just because my run is a little under 40 minutes. It can range anywhere between like 36 and 39, 38 minutes, just depending on my pace that day. And yeah, and then you have that, and then I need to take a second to cool off, and then I take a shower, and I take long showers. I don't know why, I do. It takes me longer than most people to shower. And then you get out and dry off and all that. And by the time you get settled down, it's like 2 hours. Like 2 hours have passed. So it always I do the math in my head. I'm like, okay, if I start at 8:30, 9, that's 11 by the time I get out of the shower. A lot of times I haven't eaten yet at that point. So that pushes it even further. So I don't know. Thursdays have been tough the last couple of weeks. Wednesdays are always good. I'm always good for Wednesday. I can't. I just Tuesdays are too tough for me to get a run in because of the other podcast I do. So I mean, by the time I get off and go home, it's it's that process. It's like, well, if I run before the podcast, I've got I usually don't shower before the podcast, and then I got to shower after the podcast. I'm getting to bed even later than usual, so it's tough. I might have to start looking at Fridays, except for next Friday, I guess. So, I don't know. We'll see. What else is going on in the world, Michelle? Between or in your world, let's put it that way.
Well, my life is about to be completely um engulfed with school. I start classes tomorrow, and so I work full time where I'll be working until 4:30 every day, and then in class until 9:30 every night. So that's what I get to look forward to starting tomorrow. So exciting.
Yeah, I mean it's good to do though. I mean you're doing a good thing, so you should be excited about that to an extent. Although based on how you've talked about it, hasn't been that exciting. But we don't have to get into that.
Yeah, it's boring. And I already have a quiz tomorrow. It's the first day of class, and I have a quiz, and that's rude. And then I
It's
have another quiz on Wednesday.
You're in law school, not high school.
It's rude.
You should be having a quiz like all the time. It's supposed to be
No,
significantly harder.
law school actually, all of my classes have been like 90% of my grade comes from the final, and 10% is participation. This is the first semester that I have like quizzes and multiple midterms and assignments outside of just a final. So it's going to be a weird way of like looking at the semester for sure.
How do you have multiple midterms? I mean, that's the point of a midterm. It's one thing at the middle of the term. How do you have multiple midterms?
Well, all of my classes this semester have midterms. So that's what I mean.
Okay, I was gonna say that doesn't make any sense. Okay, well, I'm not going to law school this fall. I guess it's the fall semester, which is still kind of weird to say. Not going to law school. Just continuing to do what I normally do. I talked to you. I considered doing the Rhino Ultra again.
Mhm.
I probably will. When I did it, I said this is the only time I'll ever do it back in 2021 when I did it. And but even then, like I went above and beyond that. I made a personal challenge. I want to do 13 in 10 weeks, 13 half marathons in 10 weeks, which I did do. But the actual challenge to complete it is 10 half marathons within 10 weeks upon signing up. So I did that and then some. And I don't know. I have it in my mind. I want to do it again. I but I don't know that this is the best time to do that. Just has nothing to do with want necessarily. Just is it right for me to do with just everything going on in life, work, the Grand Prix schedule? Is it possible I could soar myself up before one of those races, or would it be good training? You know, it's uh, it's kind of hard to balance that. So I don't. I had it. I was thinking even last night. I was thinking about it. I was like, I technically could start it today, Sunday, but I don't know. It's a lot of prep goes into. I say a lot. I mean, for me, a lot of prep goes into a half marathon because I have very sensitive skin. So um, chafing can be a problem. So I always got to make sure I'm body glided or whatever the equivalent is, Vaseline, whatever, and all those crevices. And kind of got to prepare for being sore afterward. Same time, you sleep great that night. So I don't know. I don't know. Probably won't do it though. At least right now. Maybe down later on, or maybe this week I decide I want to. I don't know. I'm very bipolar in certain ways. I took like a like a questionnaire thing um, this week, and it had to do with like mental health and such. And one of the possible things is bipolar disorder that popped up. I actually screenshotted all the things that it said I could have, and I was going to send it to you, and then I just forgot. One of them was bipolar disorder, and that was a huge one that popped off. And I was like, yeah, I could see that. So I don't know. It's in this way, it's makes sense. It's like this weekend, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And I was like, no, I'm definitely not going to do that. And today, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do that. And by Wednesday, who knows? You never know what you're going to get with me.
You do change
But
your mind a lot. Like
what,
you do change your mind a lot. So
like what? Give me an example. I'm not denying it. I just want to hear an example.
you'll say that you're gonna do X, Y, and Z for dinner or something, and then you send me a picture of something completely different. So, or you'll be like, I'm gonna go run, and then you don't run, or I'm not gonna run tonight, and then I get a picture, I just ran. Like, so you change your mind a lot.
It happens. Or I'll ask you what I should do, and then I'll do the opposite.
I feel like you ask just so that you can do the opposite too.
Like 70% of the time I've asked, I have not, that wasn't the mindset. It
I
just worked out that way.
It doesn't feel that way.
I'm sure. No, I agreed with whatever. What was the one thing? I said shit because I had some steak, ground beef, and chicken I needed to cook at some point in the week. And I think I asked you, should I cook the ground beef or chicken?
Mhm.
And you said the ground beef. And I was, or did you say that? I think you
I,
said
s- I said the ground beef, but you couldn't make it. So you did
yeah,
have to.
because
You were going to, but then you couldn't because you didn't have milk.
yeah, because I was gonna make like beef stroganoff. I bought this like, these two Velveeta skillet things for 2.25 pounds of beef, so I could make one big thing of beef stroganoff. But I didn't have any milk. I had left it at work, and I didn't feel like going to the store, so I was like, I'll just cook the chicken rather just slice up the chicken and pan fry it. So that's why I did the opposite that day. I was actually going to do it just because it would have been easier. It would have been easier just to brown some ground beef and then add stuff to a skillet rather than breaking out the cutting board and filleting the chicken and all that extra stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a little more prep goes into that. But yeah, I guess I'm probably am bipolar. I don't know. I mean, so what?
Yeah.
This there are worse things to have. Beat schizophrenia or something. Which I don't know. I may have that, and it's just been dormant.
Who knows?
They come out one day. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Well, what are we missing, Michelle? Anything?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Where are your animals? Did you get rid of all of them?
Well, one of them is over here sleeping. One of them has rediscovered a windowsill and has not left that window in like a week now. Um, and then Midnight got a bath this morning, so he is still pouting in his room.
He doesn't like baths.
He hates water. So,
And Dexter doesn't like water, but he doesn't mind baths because he gets rubbed on, I guess. So he does. I mean, he doesn't hate it. I mean, he's very still. He's always been good when it comes to baths. I need to give him one next weekend is when I plan to do it, but he does need one. So I'll do that next weekend. I guess technically I could. No, I really can't do that today. I have something at 4 and can't. Yeah, can't really do it today. So Next weekend is probably a better time, so we'll look into that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Not next Saturday. After the race Saturday, I'm coming home and I'm watching football. I'm watching college football all day. So it'll
Well,
probably be next Sunday.
yeah.
You're doing a lot of blinking this episode, or like prolonged eye close, like your eyelids are closed for a little bit.
I'm very tired. Like I could go to sleep right now.
Well, you were in Memphis all day yesterday.
I did go to Memphis to see a friend yesterday, so I didn't get home till late. And then even though I got late, I got home at like 10-ish. Um, but didn't get to sleep until like midnight, so just tired.
All right. Well, I mean, when my sister-in-law talks, every time she talks to you, it's just like her tick or what she does. Like she'll talk to you and she'll do this. Like she'll answer the question like like her eyes are closed and they'll open back up. It's just what she does. It's what she's always done. I've never pointed out or anything. Just have always noticed it. So shout out, Aaron. But yeah. Um, well, I've got nothing to add. I think my dog has calmed down. He's in the hallway sleeping, so he could be closer to me, I guess. The cat is sleeping in her bed like this entire episode. I just left her in, and she's there in the bed, just snoozing. As far as I know, I haven't heard or seen anything. So I assume she's in there napping, which she does during the afternoon anyway, and especially this time of year. I can't find her when I go outside in the middle of the day because I imagine she's hunkered down somewhere just trying to stay cool. So this is probably nice for her.
Cats are more nocturnal anyway and tend, but cats also sleep like 18 hours a day anyway. So,
I don't think that's accurate.
yeah.
18 hours a day. Maybe yours do because they don't have to hunt or anything or fist fight other cats. Are you Googling that?
Okay, more than half of cats sleep between 12 and 18 hours a day. 40% of cats sleep more than 18 hours a day. So I
That's
was right.
kind of weird that you. I guess it's not weird that you know that. You've got three of them.
I do have three. The one outside probably doesn't sleep 18 hours a day. He definitely probably sleeps probably closer to the 12. Um, but he's hard to find this time of the day outside. If he's not like under a plant or a tree close by, I'm not gonna find him.
I would say goals, but I mean, I don't want to be in the bed for more than if I'm really tired, 10 hours. Like last night, I was really tired and I slept for eight. Slept for 8 hours last night. Really, 7 to 9 hours is ideal for me. Really, 7 to 8. Used to be 9, but now it's like, I'm good with 8 hours. I can get up and get my day going. There's no way I could sleep that long.
I want to sleep as long as possible.
I was going to say that'd be goals for you. Uh, but you just yawned just now. No, I got too much to do, too much I want to do, I guess. I don't know. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I mean, I got tested for narcolepsy because as I was talking to the doctor, I was like, I'm always tired. I was yawning. It was the middle of the day. He was like, there's no reason you should be this tired. And I was like, I'm aware. So they did a narcolepsy test. I am not narcoleptic, but I'm just a sleepy girl.
Okay, well, I'm not. I have no trouble sleeping though because I don't sleep enough. So when I do lay down, I'm out. So that's the trick to avoid sleeping or trouble sleeping. Just don't get enough of it, and you're good. Anytime you lay down, you're out.
I guess.
Makes way up in the morning harder, but it's what it is. You got yin and yang. You got to take the good with the bad. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Okay, well, I think we talked enough about life and sprinkled in with a little bit of running this episode.
Mhm.
Um, we'll find out how I'm feeling next week as far as what I do. Oh, well, I do have a race to talk about next weekend, so we'll have something to talk about there. Training should be normal this week and then some, and so should be a good time. We got lot going on. Well, you do for sure with school and all that, but yeah. So I guess we'll be back next Sunday to talk more about that. And until then, we're gonna get out of here, I guess. So sign us off, Michelle.
I don't know how to do that. I just say see ya and then end the
I
call.
know. I just wanted to switch it up. I wanted to see if you wanted to do the intro. You had no interest in it, so give it a shot.
I also don't want to do the outro. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Just try it.
I'm good.
It's such a you're no, you're a good podcast co-host, but not great at this part apparently. All right, so till then, this is Grandpa, that's Michelle Zingulis. Deuces, y'all. See you next time.
See ya.